All right, so welcome everybody to our Yankee Doodle District Kickoff. So I'm just going to be going over a few different membership tips and tricks, and then a couple other things including retention and all of that good stuff. So this is the agenda for tonight. So like I said before, I'll be talking about joining night ideas, including both drive up, drive through, and also virtual Zoom recruitment nights. A couple of different methods as well. I'll be talking about updating your Be a Scout pin and the different supplies that the council will be providing to you folks. And then I'll also be talking about popcorn, retention, and then a quick little camping update, as well as some district events that we have going on this year.
Yeah, I just gotta go back out.
So the first joining night idea I want to talk about is the drive-through joining night. So I personally think this is a great option. It's kind of like a hybrid mixture between completely virtually, but not quite like we were doing it last year. So you're still going to be maintaining that social distancing, and it's going to be safe, but it's not going to be completely virtual. So you have a little bit more interaction with the families that'll be joining, hopefully. So this concept is very similar to the 5-table method that we encouraged all of the units to use last year, except there's going to be 4 different stations instead of 5. So this event will be held in a parking lot, and you're going to have 4 different stations, or like 4 different areas in the parking lot set up for each of the different stations. So station 1 will be your check-in. That's where you're going to greet the new families. You're going to explain to them the 4 stations that they'll be visiting. You're going to take down their contact information so that way you can reach out to them afterwards. And then you're always going to want to point them in the direction of the next station. So station 2, similar to table 2 for the 5-table method, is the fun station, or the what we do as a pack or a troop. So you want to show them, for example, a poster board that has a bunch of photos or different things that your pack likes to do or your troop likes to do, all of the fun activities that you do. And then you also want to review your unit calendar, and you want to talk about meeting times. So that way the family knows that this would be a good unit for us because we're available that night and that kind of thing. So those are the first 2 stations. And then station 3 is the registration and complete form station. So not as fun, but so you're going to have a few adult leaders around to answer questions that the parents have. You're also going to want to have your pack or troop QR code pulled up, so that way they can scan it with their phone and it'll bring them right to the website where they can sign up for completely online. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a parking area to the side where these families can park their car and fill out the application and all that good stuff. And they can also pay completely online, which is nice. And then your last station, station 4, that is going to be your checkout station. So you want to let parents know when the next meeting date is. You want to encourage them to attend their parent orientation night so that way they get a better idea of what's going on and what Scouts BSA really is. And then you also want to make sure that all of their questions are answered. So the next joining night idea that you can do is a Zoom completely virtual recruitment night. So this would essentially be a Zoom meeting that parents would join, and you would go over the 4 different stations with them, but this would be completely virtually. So I recommend having a slideshow for this with different slides, kind of going over the 4 different stations. I would also recommend having a different presenter for each station, so that way the new families can get a better idea of the different leaders in the pack and things like that. So just like the drive-through, you're going to have your 4 stations, your check-in, your fun station, or the what we do, and station 3, registration and completion forms, and then your last station, checkout. So you want to make sure that your families are signing into the chat, so that way you have all their contact info and all that good stuff. There is another council membership training tomorrow night at 7 p.m. That we delve more into what these different recruitment nights are. So if you're free, I would highly recommend signing up for that. It is, again, it's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and it's via Zoom. So these are just, the next couple slides are a couple of example slides that you could use in your PowerPoint that you would use for a virtual recruitment night. So this is an example slide that kind of goes over the different fees, how much it costs to join, and you can kind of review that with the family. So just the total breakdown Their membership fees from September 2020 to December 2020 would be $60 with Boys Life or $56 without Boys Life. And that would be how much they'd be required to pay at the time of sign up. So another example slide, this could be your unit's QR code. So parents at home, they could use their phone, they could scan it, and then they can fill out the application right from their phone, completely online, and also, like I mentioned before, pay online. So to find your pack or troop's QR code, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to log into your my.scouting.org account, and you do have to be a member of the unit key 3 to do this. So you're going to go to the upper left-hand corner where you see the 3-line drop-down. So you're going to click on that. You're going to select your unit. You're going to go to Invitation Manager, and then you're going to scroll down a little bit. And then this is what it'll look like. So you'll see your QR code right down there in the bottom left. It is kind of small, but you can blow it up pretty big and it'll still work. A couple other recruitment methods that the council has come up with is using Snapchat and Instagram. So this is more geared towards your older scouts, so your Scouts BSA, girl troops, boy troops, that sort of thing, even venturing and exploring. So what you could do is you could have your scouts make an Instagram story or a Snapchat story, and they can post it, and that way their friends can see like, oh, this is so cool, like I would like to do that, how do I join? And so that might be a good way to recruit other scouts into your unit. Also, shameless plug, follow the council Instagram page at Twin Rivers BSA. The second recruitment method that you could use is Nextdoor. So I wasn't really familiar with Nextdoor until I had to research it a bit. So it's very similar to Facebook, except it's geared strictly towards your community. So you join your community page, and this is where people post about different events going on, lost pets, like that sort of thing. So this could be a good advertising tool to use, where you just log in and you can post about your recruitment or your joining night and maybe get some more traction for it. We've mentioned geofencing a bunch. This is a great way to promote your unit. So essentially, geofencing is where you put a pin, like a virtual pin, let's say on the grocery store, and you set the radius for that pin at about 3 miles. And then you also want to select the demographic. So let's say women between the ages of 35 and 45. And so anytime a woman between the ages of 35 and 45 drives through that geofence, they're going to get a Facebook notification that says, hey, join Unite today, come join our unit. We're going to have a great time. And so they can be like, oh, interesting. Oh, maybe I should go to this. It's super easy to set up through Facebook, and it also costs about $1 a day. So if you were to set it up like 2 weeks before your recruitment night, that would only be 14 bucks. So it's a pretty great way to recruit, in my opinion. Now, updating your Be a Scout pin. I have been trying to tell everybody to update their Be a Scout pin. This is extremely important for parents to find different units that they would like their child to join. And it's really important that you have up-to-date and accurate information for this. So to update your unit pin, again, you do have to be a member of the unit key 3 to do this. So you're going to go into the upper left-hand corner, those 3 lines, select the menu, select your unit, and then you're going to go to Organization Manager. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see Settings and Unit Pin. And you're going to click on Unit Pin, and then that's where you can add your contact info, you can add meeting information, and pretty much anything that you want somebody to know about your unit, you can put in right there. And I highly recommend putting someone's name down there who is really tech savvy and knows their way around my.scouting.org and who's really responsive to emails and things like that. So that way when families send in a request for more information, they're going to hear back right away. This is also where you can set up a welcome email. So when somebody joins your troop or your pack, you can send them, my.scouting will automatically send them a welcome email saying, hey, welcome to our unit. Here's what to expect, that kind of thing. So these are a few of the supplies provided by Twin Rivers Council. Sorry. So we have lawn signs. The Den Leader guides are completely free, so we do have those available for you guys, as well as flyers and customized Scout Talk videos. So We do make customized flyers and customized Scout Talk videos. So there will be an email me form going around for that. So if you're interested in either of those resources, you can use that email me form to submit a request, and we will get that those resources to you in about a week's time. Just a quick popcorn update. Don't forget to sign up your unit for popcorn sales if you haven't already. Here are a couple different resources that you can use. And then the link to register is right there. So what's really cool about popcorn this year is online direct. So this is where a customer can place an order through your Scout and the popcorn will get shipped directly to them. So there's no need to handle any product. And as an incentive, Twin Rivers Council is paying the shipping costs on any online direct orders over $30. Sorry. So, and people normally spend about $30 when buying popcorn. So that's a great incentive to sell. I personally really like the 50 state challenge. So you can encourage your scouts to sell one item of popcorn in all 50 states. So I think that's kind of a cool challenge. So for more tips on selling, you can visit the Twin Rivers Council popcorn page at trcscouting.org/popcorn. Going into retention, so we have this brand new link through the website, and it has all of the resources that you could ever imagine. This is great because it has your planning guides, a bunch of tips and tricks for den leaders, budget planners, new parent orientations, and all of that stuff, all in one place too, so you don't have to go searching for it. So this is live on the council website right now, so you can visit the link trcscouting.org/leader resources to kind of check out that page a little bit more and see what we have going on there. Another important aspect of retention is having a solid program. So all of those resources that I mentioned before on the leader resources page can help you bring your unit and have a stronger program and that kind of thing. So you want to make sure organization is key and planning is key. So all of those resources can help you get more organized and figure out a better way to plan and hopefully build a stronger program. So these are a couple of questions that I've received pretty frequently. So are we allowed to start meeting in person? The answer to that is yes, question mark, because it all depends on your charter organization. So if your charter organization is okay with your unit meeting in person, then go ahead. You just want to make sure that you follow all of those state guidelines, like under 50 people, social distancing, masks, and all of that good stuff. I really recommend you talk to your charter organization and make sure that they know that your unit is meeting and that they're okay with that. Second, does the council provide insurance for meeting locations? Yeah, we do. We provide free certificate of insurances for all of the meeting locations or any locations that you have an event at or anything like that. So you can request a certificate of insurance through this link right here, and then that's also on the council website. And last question, what are some creative ways we can keep the program going while maintaining safety precautions? So you may have seen that I posted this flyer on the district Facebook page. It has a bunch of creative ways to have a solid program and keep those scouts engaged, even though we have to socially distance and take precautions and stuff like that. I personally really like the idea of having a hybrid program where your dens or your patrols meet in person, but your pack meetings are virtually. So if you have at least a little bit of in-person meeting, that might encourage more scouts to attend that virtual meeting. So I kind of like that little hybrid. So here are a couple program resources that we've put together for you guys. Specifically for Cub Scouts, the Den Leader Experience via Scoutbook is a really great resource to have. That they have an app now that basically plans your entire den meeting for you, so you don't really have to do any of the work. It's pretty cool, and I highly recommend you folks check it out. In addition to that, the council staff has been creating PowerPoint presentations for every required adventure for each Cub Scout rank. So I think some of those are live now, but you should be able to see all of them soon. But those are only for the required adventures. And then lastly, National recently put out a bunch of Den Leader tips and tricks videos, and also videos that go over some of the requirements for those rank advancements and things like that. So they're not meant to take the place of your program, but they're meant to supplement it. And then on the Scouts BSA side, Twin Rivers Council has put together a great Trail to First Class Pioneer program virtual thing. So I think that you can still sign up for that on the council website. It's completely free, and it's a great little introduction for those scouts who have recently crossed over to a troop. We've also run the Merit Badge Academy, so another great resource. I do hope that we plan on running another one in the future. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but we had so much success with the first one, so why would we not? And then lastly was State Camp. State Camp went really well, in my opinion. I both helped out with packing the boxes, and I taught a couple classes, and I heard nothing but positive remarks from all of the scouts involved. So that was a really good program that we were able to put on. But a quick note about earning virtual merit badges, specifically for Scouts BSA, it's extremely important that you get your Scoutmaster to sign off on a badge before you start it. So that way your Scoutmaster knows what's going on, they know what badges you're working on, and they know that they can help you out if you have any troubles or anything like that. So you really want to make sure that your Scoutmaster's in the know whenever you're taking merit badges. So that might be an important point to bring up at your next troop meeting or committee meeting. A bit of a camping update. Our camps are open. Rotary Scout Reservation is available for day use and also overnight camping, well, weekend camping. But I'm surprised because the weekends haven't really been too booked. I was camp master a few weekends ago and there was only one troop there. And I feel like it's such a great opportunity to get your scouts outside. And I'm sure that everybody would like to get out in the woods because we've been cooped up inside for so long. So definitely sign up for a weekend up at Rotary. I just think it's a ton of fun. So you can contact Joel for more information. That's his email and his phone number. And then Waukpomni, unfortunately, is only available for day use at this time. We are working on getting an overnight permit, but we should be allowing weekend camping up at Waukpomni soon. And then for more information, you can contact Ranger Dan, and that's his contact information. And now moving into district events, we are still planning on doing our drive-in camporee, but it's going to be a little different. So it's not going to be an overnight, and we're only going to be showing one movie. Now, I haven't solidified a movie yet, but we're between the Lego movie or Back to the Future. It depends on which one Frank has available at the time. There's a lot of confusing stuff that I recently learned about drive-in movies, so it'll be one of those two for sure. The registration is live, and it's the early fee is $15 and the late fee is $20. And that fee includes one movie ticket and one popcorn. So we are limited to 175 cars, so definitely make sure to carpool with your family if you can. You'll notice on the website the registration is set up for contingent registration, but that contingent means your car. So you would sign up your car as you would a contingent, for example. It's pretty, I make it sound really confusing, but it's pretty straightforward if you go to buy your tickets and register online. And then as always, our roundtables are every second Thursday at 7 p.m. We really encourage everyone to attend these. There's oftentimes a lot of great information that we go over, and we love to see you guys, even if virtually. So for the time being, those will be via Zoom. And then you can register on the council website for those, and the links are always sent out in the email receipt that you receive afterwards. And a quick update on scouting for food. I know a couple people have been curious about this. At this point, this is all the information that I have on it. The proposed collection date is November 14th, and it's going to be a little different this year. So there's going to be, like each unit will have one designated collection spot. So they'll drop off flyers or boxes, and then the person that's donating the food will be responsible for bringing it to the collection site. So that way the scouts don't have to kind of come into contact with anybody. It'll be the responsibility of the person donating food to bring it to the collection site. So that, unfortunately, is all the information I have on scouting for food right now, but I do think there will be more information coming out soon. And then this concludes our district kickoff. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have or anything like that. You can feel free to type them in the chat or just unmute yourself if you want. Okay, so question from Doug, any recommendations for venturing recruitment? I would recommend the same 4 stations, but focus more on the high adventure stuff that you kind of do to engage those older scouts. That would be my recommendation for that.
Well, you also mentioned these Snapchat things. So is that what the youth are using now very regularly?
Yeah, absolutely. So especially those older youth, so targeting the youth that are of venturing age, they use Snapchat and Instagram a whole bunch. So I think that's a great tool that you could use to encourage more ventures, more scouts to sign up.
Do they use Facebook, or have they gone past that?
I don't see as many like Gen Zs on Facebook as I do on Instagram and Snapchat. So I don't think Facebook is their main source of social networking anymore.
Okay. Because it certainly was when a few years ago when we started. That's how I got on Facebook. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a little different. So Patrick had the question, what are the fees for camping at Rotary? I'm not entirely sure of that, unfortunately. You would have to reach out to Sandy Elkins at the Scout office. I can't imagine it's very expensive, but yeah, you would have to reach out to her at the office because unfortunately I don't know the exact fee breakdown for that.
Regarding the camping, are people just showing up at Rotary, or are units packing into cars? Because that's going to be a concern for our unit.
Yeah, so signing up ahead of time, and then also they come in separate cars, so they're not all packing together in one car like they would for summer camp. A lot of times it's their individual family dropping them off. In Fort Orange, Troop 75 has done a really good job of this, where they do temperature checks as soon as they get in, and they enforce mask wearing and sanitizing hands. And also at Rotary, we go around and sanitize the latrines 3 times a day, so that way we can kind of minimize contamination and things like that. So it is a pretty safe sort of thing going on there. And then also just to clarify too, the movie is $15 per person, not per car.
On the camping thing, the sign up is on the website, and you basically reserve a campsite for your troop. It's usually like 25 bucks for the weekend if you're just getting a site, because my troop's done that. So, you know, you come in, you get your site, nothing else is open. It's basically your troop hanging out at camp. You can take a hike out to Burning Pond, that kind of thing. And the good thing about Rotary, because it's relatively close to our district, is again, the kids can all come in their own individual cars. Mom and dad can drop them off. You don't have to have, you know, everybody clustered in a car. So that is an option.
Yeah, so unfortunately the only facilities open are the latrines and the hiking trails, so the waterfront's not available, or the ranges or anything like that.
Next question, units that are not going to have a meeting space. I know my unit will be fine. The pack that we usually recruit from usually meets at Green Meadow and East Greenbush, so they're probably going to lose their meeting space because I don't think they're letting outside groups use the facilities. So, I mean, I don't want to speak for them or anything, but that concerns me because then we can't recruit from them if they don't have a scouting year.
Yeah, of course. So we are recommending if a unit is unable to meet at their charter organization or their usual meeting spot, try to find a park or somewhere outside that'll let you meet there. Or if the troop meets in a different spot than the pack, and if your troop is able to meet there, then maybe they would be more lenient towards the pack meeting there as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. But for the time being, until it gets really cold out, we are encouraging units that can't meet in their normal spot to meet at a local park or a more public venue that might be more open to them. Anyone have any more questions for me? Eric, do you have anything else you want to add?
There, wait.
Oh, you're muted again.
You know, I feel like I'm a bad advertisement for Zoom here. I saw the dens meet at den leaders' home as long as there's too deep leadership. I mean, as long as you have the space, as long as you have too deep leadership. I'm old enough to have been a Cub Scout when we met at the den mother's house after school. So that's not that unusual. I think Rihanna summarized it. Our big thing here is we are going to hold the movie night, and there'll be stuff on Facebook about that, and we'll be putting out, you know, more information. Please talk it up. It's an opportunity to go out and do something with scouting, and there's the opportunity to go to the to camp. You know, you can also go out if your troop has a field where you can go camp in. I mean, the Rihanna can get you a proof of insurance that you can take to a property owner and say, can we come camp in your field? Rod and gun clubs have let scout troops camp there. You know, for older kids, we've got the Adirondacks just around the corner. The high peaks are mobbed, but if you go to the eastern Adirondacks, the Faro Lake region, places like that, it's not overcrowded. You could take a group of kids there. There are things to do. I think a lot of it is just gonna, you guys are probably running into this, how comfortable are the parents? Some of the parents in my scout troop were not comfortable. Now they're a little more comfortable with having the kids get out there. And again, Tom was right about the schools. I mean, the school that our troop uses to meet at sometimes, they've said nobody's coming in the building who isn't a student. I think we're just gonna, I don't think we'll have access to schools this year. So I think that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, from what I hear, school access.
So I don't know how to get around that, but again, den meetings, patrol meetings could be at somebody's home. We can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you just from coming from recently from the pack, that's going to kill that pack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can pretty much guarantee it. I mean,
is that pack 526?
257.
257. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I mean, the problem is, I mean, let's face it, we're going to have a bad year of retention here. I think a lot of kids may have gotten out of the habit of scouting. There may be parents who are like, oh, I'm worried about a school, but we're just going to have to do the best we can. See what happens.
A lot of units that meet at churches, fire companies, Legion halls, most of those groups have been pretty amenable for primarily the Boy Scout troops. But the packs that met at the schools, we've been encouraging them to reach out to the fire companies, the Legion halls, the local churches, especially for the winter months, to meet as a den in small groups, since the pack meetings are going to be virtual, or should be.
That's a great idea.
So, you know, we just need to keep pushing that word to them to get them to start reaching out in their community to the alternative groups that have been amenable. Even some of the Masonic halls have gone back to meeting now, and they're not traditionally used, so they can reach out to even some of the Masonic hall groups.
Good point.
Yeah, and
But you
like
have
Pat
one in
said,
Troy where your group meets occasionally.
libraries are also a really good place to meet as well. I also, I do know someone who's running a youth rifle program. So if there are any scouts who are interested in that, he is certified, a certified rifle instructor, and he can do rifle merit badge. So if anyone's interested in that, definitely let me know. That's another option that you can do for Scouts BSA, not so much for packs.
So back to that point, is there a way to get a list on the district site of facilities that are open and willing to host scouting groups?
Yeah, we certainly could put something out there. Definitely, I'll have to check with a couple different places, but we could definitely put something out there for you guys.
Yeah, no, my only concern is you might have a situation where somebody may not want to advertise that.
Yeah, that's true.
there's the paranoid in me that nobody wants to have liability staring them down the face. And we all know that's going to be the biggest thing here. That's why there's that bill in Congress to allow businesses not to be blamed if somebody gets sick. So, a group might be willing to, have scouts come in, but they might not want that blasted out over the internet, Once the lawyers get involved, all the fun sucks right out of everything.
But even for the fall and early fall, they can't open up their parking lots in some places like that.
Right. I mean, Troop 528 has been meeting outside in the yard at the VFW and Post and Kill. So if you've got that option, that's awesome.
We've also thought of the idea of using banks. So a lot of times banks are closed the second half of the day on Saturday and closed on Sunday. So you could always use a bank as a show and sell location or as a location to run your drive-through recruitment night. I know in Mohawk they've talked to a few of their banks and they're completely okay with it because, they're not using the parking lot on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's another good idea for like a popcorn drive-through show and sell type of deal.
Vast silence. I think everybody's been talked into immobility.
Yeah. This was a pretty quick meeting, so that was all I had to go over. I don't know. I think we had like an hour and a half blocked out on the council calendar. Not too sure why, but.
Rihanna?
Yeah.
Are we working with the schools, especially for the kindergartners, the Lions, and the first graders, the Tigers, to at least reach out for recruitment nights and just general advertising for scouts through their PTOs?
Yeah, so
School backpacks?
what I've heard from schools right now is call me back in September. So that's what I've heard thus far. So once I'm actually able to like talk to someone, I'll definitely try and talk about that. One idea that certain schools are doing is a virtual backpack. So sending flyers and stuff like that home virtually through an email or through a virtual folder, things like that. So we're hoping to get in on that.
Yeah. Our chartered organization is a firehouse, and they're very willing to put out any messages we want on their sign as well, which last year helped us out a lot. I don't know how many people came to me and said, "Oh, we didn't even know about you guys till we saw the message on the firehouse sign." So just, basic stuff really still works too.
Yeah, lawn signs especially. We have a ton of lawn signs. So if anyone's interested in those, I'd be happy to drop some off. But also the Scout Shop is currently open. So I think they're closed on Wednesdays, but other than that, they're open pretty much every other day of the week. There's a council drop-off pickup box. So if you ever need something from me and you plan on going to the Scout Shop soon, I can put that in the drop box and you can grab it straight from there. Or I have no problem driving around to drop stuff off. So.
And are council office hours the same as they normally were?
Unfortunately, the office is closed to outside people, but I'm currently in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from about 9:30 to 4:30. So if you call my office phone, that's when I'll answer. But if not, definitely try my cell phone.
For the far-flung areas of the district, are we going to have any recruitment night material pickup spots where the people can come to a centralized spot on a particular evening and pick up their materials?
Yeah, I'd definitely like to organize something like that. Or Jim, if you want to take the lead on that, I'd love to help you out with it. I think that's a good idea.
Because we need to start reaching out now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We're not just kind of sticking membership as your one recruitment night in September. We're kind of seeing recruitment as the entire month of September. So running multiple events, maybe putting out multiple flyer blasts, especially since you can register right online and pay online. It's a great opportunity. I think my computer froze.
excluded the sign-up fee for the new scouts. So that total should reflect that.
Yeah, so the only thing that the total online doesn't include is the pack fees. So there is that new $25 new member fee that was included in the slide that I had in this presentation. So
All I was saying is it doesn't show the total that would be due, including the total. It's sort of broken out piecemeal. So
yeah.
some people tend to just look at the last two and they say, oh, it's the same as last year, even though they've been told about the $25 fee. We need to be pretty careful about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, the other thing, even though we didn't mention it this time around, Rihanna, we'll talk about it next month, but rechartering is earlier this year, everybody. We need to be thinking about getting that done before the end of the year.
Your unit expires December 31st, not in
yes.
March. So
yes, so it's going to be earlier. So yeah, it's a confluence of wonderful events. The costs have gone up. You have to recharter everybody earlier, which means you have to hit people up for money earlier. People are hurting. A lot of people are going to be losing jobs if they haven't already lost jobs, or people are worried about losing jobs. And so it's just, let's face it, it's going to stink this year, but just be thinking about it. It's going to make the pack and troop committee chairman's jobs all the more wonderful. So it's the perfect storm of awfulness.
Yeah, there's no sports to compete with this year, though.
that's the thing.
That's true. That's true. You know, but and yeah, you can still go hiking.
The great outdoors.
You don't need ice time to go hiking. You don't need a coach to go camping. You need two scout leaders who have nothing better to do with their lives.
Eric, for the camping, did you want to go over the COVID requirements for tent camping?
I mean, it's what's on the website now. If you haven't read already, mask, 1 kid per tent. Like Rihanna was saying, you have the troop that's taking people's temperatures when they show up. No more than 25 people at a site. You don't mix and match. You know, your troop's over here, that troop's over there. You can yell at each other, but don't go do stuff together. You're in your COVID bubble. It's kind of like the same thing you're going to get anywhere you go right now. You know, if you're going to sit around the campfire, don't sit too close. That's a good question. Food preparation, are we just bringing packaged foods? I don't know what the rules said on that. I didn't check that. But it's basically just a whole common sense thing of 1 kid per tent, don't get too close, wear a mask.
That's all on the TRC site, though?
It should be, yeah. I don't think we have specific council guidelines for camping, but we do follow all of the CDC guidelines, and I think that's what Eric was going over were the CDC state guidelines.
I know some of the units that have been going camping and trips that for the food preparation, what they did is they had each child at home pre-pack the same menu for everybody. So they didn't shop as a group like they normally did. Each family was responsible for putting together the same meal. Usually it was foil meals or some other dish that could be individually cooked using their mess kits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty strict.
we were trying to figure that out also, but for our den meetings and pack meetings, we're restricting it to 1 parent and up to 2 registered scouts per meeting and just keeping them spaced out. We're not allowing unregistered siblings in the building or anything. We're taking their temperature. We're making them sign an acknowledgement that's going to be on the wall. You know, if this is what's happening, you know, you need to go home type of thing. But trying to keep in-person meetings as much as we can with a virtual den meeting. So 1 den meeting, 1 virtual den meeting. and then a in-person PAC meeting just for awards and recognition.
Yeah, I like that method. That's good.
The camping is a big question mark.
Many of the sites that do open up to outside groups or within themselves are essentially having sign-up sheets in addition to the normal protocols with contact information for everybody that's present at a certain event, so that should someone show symptoms later on, that everybody that attended that group can be reached out to.
For tracing.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the cohort method that some councils have adopted for summer camp, where you stay in your cohort, which can be a den or patrol, and you don't mingle with people outside of your cohort. So that way, if there is a positive case or anything like that, they can just go back to the cohort and say, all right, everybody's quarantining. So it's easier contact tracing. Any other questions? I know we've gone over a lot today.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to change my name from what my daughter changed it to. That's not my name.
Sauce.
Yeah, I don't know what she was doing.
No, you need to keep it. That's too good.
I can't think of anything else really. Let me see if Tanya says. No.
Yeah, and like I mentioned,
That's all I got.
okay. There is going to be a council membership training tomorrow night at 7. So if you haven't attended the one that was last week, I highly recommend you go. We go more in depth into that sort of recruitment stuff that we've been talking about. So I highly recommend everybody attend. I will be there.
One more question. Will there be like wilderness first aid training and stuff like that coming up now that the camp's opened? I know we're planning on doing Northern Tier, and there's a couple of us that will need that training to go.
Yeah, this has been brought up before as well. So I don't think we have anything on the schedule right now, but we are making that a priority because there are a ton of people that need to get wilderness first aid or like balloon training, things like that. So I'll push it again at council to see if I can get anyone to like take the lead on that and actually start scheduling stuff, especially since the camps are open now.
Tom, you can get that through the Red Cross too.
Oh, you can? Okay. I'll look into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm first aid, but I think we need the specific wilderness.
Yes, and the certificate is good for 2 years once you take it. But I think it's a Red Cross certified class we teach. I think if you reach out to the Red Cross, they could probably identify somebody in the area who's teaching it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. If nobody has any other questions, I guess we can end the meeting. Kept it under an hour. That is generally the best time for a meeting, is under an hour, because people stop paying attention after that. So keeping in the guidelines. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I think we had a great turnout today, a lot more than I was expecting, which is always a pleasant surprise. I would like to see this many people at Roundtable as well. So go register for that.
Okay.
Thanks for taking part, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.